Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Daily Downshift. My name's Nestor and today we're back working on the G87 M2. Now, in the last video, you've probably seen that we installed cold air intakes from Burger Motorsports, and you probably would have seen that we also put on side skirts on this bad boy, but we don't have the side skirts on in this video. The side skirts video is going to come before this, which you guys probably already saw, and that was also from Unit 17. Today, we're installing something on the front end. It is more carbon fiber, and in my opinion, this is really going to complete the look. Without dragging this on too long, it is the air inlets on the front. That is one of my favorite pieces from the M Performance collection on this car. These are not the M Performance ones because, believe it or not, when you buy those, you actually have to cut a piece of your sensor or something, and it's a total mess. They also cost like $2,000, so these are significantly cheaper. I'm so excited to see how this is gonna look with the front lip. So let's take a look at the product and we'll get right into it. All right, so we're gonna unbox it right now, cut it all open, and take a look at the beautiful carbon fiber. So gentle with my carbon. Thank you very much, man. Oh, there it is. Turn it around. Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's going to look killer. So
that's aggressive.
Believe it or not, I actually had one of these already, like a pair from a buddy of mine, because they did not include any 3M tape. They didn't have these little loops right here, and also the biggest thing, it didn't have this housing right here for the PDC, the parking distance control. You can't buy them. Like, really? you might be able to get them from like a Chinese manufacturer somewhere, but BMW does not make any spare of these. They just make them for the brand new BMWs. And so I could not source this. I had these, basically a shell version, for what, 4 or 5 months? Finally, Unit 17, we got the good stuff. It is fully complete, and these are just basically plug and play.
So as you can see, wheel is already off. Car is lifted, and the 3 important bolts, 10 millimeters, 1, 2, and 3 are off.
Yeah, so we're gonna work on these guys next. So these are push pins. Obviously, we've worked with these in the past. Grab yourself any kind of Amazon pry tool and just get underneath it. Take all 4 of these off. And actually, even before you do this, you can take off this weather stripping. So just reach out, grab it, take it all off. Funny story actually with the weather stripping. I was helping one of my buddies install these. After we finished the install, and we were putting everything back together, and I had my car right beside him. I'm like, wait a second, dude, where's your weather stripping? He's like, oh shit, I guess the mechanic didn't put it back on.
Wow.
Yeah, so he doesn't have weather stripping.
That's brutal.
Yeah, never go to mechanics. At least that's what I say. We've had so many like bad experiences with mechanics ourselves too.
Yeah.
Stripping bolts, stripping lug nuts, like just all sorts of, because, you know, they want to do work fast and they just use power tools and everything, right?
Yeah.
So,
you know, if you take the turn and your wheel falls off, you're like, that was all me.
yeah, at least, you know, it's not someone else that screwed you over.
Yeah.
You know that you did it to yourself and that you can fix it yourself.
You got nobody to sue but yourself.
Exactly. Okay, so all 4 of these are basically out. And I think this whole thing is just going to come out. I actually haven't done this in a while, so I'm trying to actually remember.
Sounds very plasticky.
This is a what, T30?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna take off all these. This is essentially what body shops work with whenever they wanna, you know, get fitment right. My fitment is not great because I actually already messed with this a while ago. Also, I have to wash these wheels. Check out how disgusting they are.
Yeah, the barrel's pretty destroyed.
Okay, so we gotta work in the wheel well now. There's a couple, right behind the 10 mils we took off, there's a couple sensors that we have to disconnect. And there's a couple, I think like a 10 mil, an 8 mil, something like that we have to remove. And then after that, it's just removing the bottom side and the whole bumper can come off. Okay guys, so as you can see, we're on the left side here. This is the driver's side. On this side, there's just 1 sensor. On the passenger side, I believe there's 2 sensors that you're gonna have to disconnect. And I'm just gonna try getting rid of that. I basically just pulled that out using the pick tool. Now the sensor should be free to just be pulled out. Okay, so we took out the sensor clip actually using the pick tool that, again, I did get from Beamer Tech. I swear I use this everywhere and it's so useful. But next up, we're gonna need an 8 millimeter on a screwdriver, and there's 2 screws up there that you're gonna have to take off. See it? It's good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, first one is basically right here. It's holding these 2 together, and the other one's like further up here. Okay, that's the first one, actually really long. So as you guys can see, once we remove those 2, this whole front bumper basically is loose. We're just gonna have to take out these. And again, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, the passenger side, but there is 1 more sensor. It is, can see it, there's the first, it's right behind it. It's hard to get on camera, but you have to disconnect that one as well. It is a little challenging, but kind of stick with it. And once that's out, we move to the bottom. Okay, so we just took off a bunch of the 10 mil screws as well as the push pins from the underside. Pretty basic. You guys don't need to see that. So I think at this point the bumper can come off. Go. Doesn't look like there's any wires actually. We're good.
Which is kind of insane.
Great. Well, we removed them right on the sides.
Oh, that makes sense.
But the hard part is basically done. Check out this if you want to get a look.
They should have just left it like this. Fuck, that's the look.
A lot of people were complaining about the bumper, so maybe they should just ship them like this, eh?
Yeah, that's a good look.
Okay, so now that we have the bumper off, we have to take off this whole plastic surround, this wire here. So same thing as what we did on the inside of the... What the fuck? Next up, you're gonna want to grab an 8mm and take off this right here in the corner. Yeah, so like I said, we took out this plastic piece right there, and then this plastic is just being held in by all these little clip points all around here, so we just kind of have to work them off one by one. So we got the plastic piece off. Again, not too difficult. It's ultimately just a bunch of like little trim pieces and clips holding it in place. Look how dirty this is. We got rocks everywhere. Oh my goodness.
No surprise.
Yeah, we have to take off all these clips. Now, it is a little bit more difficult than it looks, but essentially you just have to free all this and just one by one get all of these clips kind of out.
Bumper has been transferred to the table. This side is entirely empty. We've got this guy that we have to now sneak in, which should be fun.
It's gonna be pulled all the way like that.
Okay.
Right, and so you can see how, you know, the zip ties are gonna attach here and kind of hold it at various different points.
Right, okay.
If you do this by yourself, you can get it done, but it'll probably break a couple clips if I'm being honest with you. We're also gonna blow dry the actual 3M tape to make it a little more adhesive, and then it can basically slide in. We're gonna zip tie everything and show you how all that's done, but let's finish cleaning this up and then get ready to put it on. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this through. Adhesive is obviously bare. Like I said, it's not gonna be a perfect fit here. Mainly what's going to kind of hold it in place where it needs to be is the actual zip ties.
We are fully complete on the driver's side, as you can see here. First look.
So we put the plastic obviously back on. We zip tied to a couple of points down here, over here. You can't see it now that the plastic's on. But yeah, so obviously you have your OEM sensor. That's not gonna give us any issues. We bolted this back up and everything looks good. Gotta give a massive shout out to Unit17.
Yep.
This looks sick. These inlets are diagonal.
Yes.
You have the bottom, which is vertical.
Yep.
And then you have the grills that are horizontal. A lot of different lines on the front end.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I was saying to off camera again, if there was a grill company out there that made one like this, that matched this design up here, that'd be really cool, but it just wouldn't be BMW.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
No, this is a good preview, but once it's on the car, that's going to be the real sign.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. So, as you can see, we got both of the carbon air inlets installed, and it is such a menacing motorsport look. I absolutely love it. So, this is kind of how it looks, just to show you guys. You zip tie onto the corners from all three of the loops. That way there's a lot of pressure, so not just 3M tape is holding it in. And obviously that also makes for a very flush look. You know, there's not really any gaps anywhere whatsoever, which is nice. It's all even all around. And just like that, it looks like we are done. We got, you know, plastic back on, the wires clipped back in. So at this point, now that all the carbon's on the car, I think we can just throw this back on. Super, super interesting to see how everything works. We don't get a chance to take off too many bumpers. So
no.
This is pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're like a body shop today.
Yeah. Bumper is now on the car. Honestly, took us quite a long time to do because for some reason there's like all these little connection points and we just weren't grabbing onto it. Maybe because it's cold and the plastic's a little brittle. You want to make sure these corners right here are nice and good, and then just keep an eye on obviously the headlight. You want to make sure you're all around it. Next up, all we want to do is just throw on a bunch of these 10 mils and the push pins underneath. Then I'm going to start bolting back up these 10 mil and 8 mil connection points and also plugging the clips back in so that the sensors work. And then finally we can come to the top, and this is going to be the last thing we do because we're going to constantly close the hood and make sure that this is lined up and that the gaps even the whole way. When we were removing the push pins though, we did actually break 2 of them because it was too cold. So I'm just gonna have to buy some from Home Depot, or might even go to the dealer and buy these. I'm sure they can't be more than a couple bucks each. Next up, all we're gonna do is just go ahead and reestablish the connections in the wheel wells. So plug the sensors back in and then put the two 8mm screws back in, and that'll bolt everything up nicely. Okay, and we finally have everything on. As you guys can see, we put on this little cover, the weather stripping, we got all these bolts back up, and I'm happy to report that the actual gap is way better than before. Pretty even gap the whole way through. I messed with this before when I was working on something else and completely just messed up the actual fitment, so we kind of knocked out 2 birds with 1 stone there. Alrighty guys, so here is what the actual inlets look like now that they are on the car. They're matching the nice front lip from Unit 17 as well, the Toronto carbon emblems, the yellow DRLs. I think if there's one carbon fiber piece that everyone has to do on their cars, it's these inlets. I mean, they just look so much better than what's here stock. I don't know if you guys remember how it looked stock, but the actual black started back here and there was just one kind of slit that went sideways. Now the slit did kind of match this, but not enough for you to really want to keep it there. And obviously if you're doing a carbon lip, it's just such a no-brainer to also get that done. Alrighty guys, so that is it for the carbon fiber inlets. Let me know what you guys think of them in the comments down below. And once again, massive shout out to Unit 17 Autostyling. Feel free to go to their website and use code DailyDownshift for 10% off. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, they make some of the highest quality carbon fiber that there is. Pre-preg, there's no plastic reinforced crap. It's all lightweight, very thin, and the prices are extremely competitive. Plus with the 10% off discount code, that's going to make them even cheaper. So yeah, that is the video. That is the install. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.